Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl Kyndal from N.K. Solutions, and I am so honored for you all to be here today. Whether you are catching me live and in full effect, or you're catching the replay, I cannot describe to you how thankful I am for your presence today. Um, and I have to remind myself of that because, woo, let me just tell you. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So, if you don't know me, my name is Kendall, and I am what I would like to call a community organization's best friend. What professionally or somebody else would call me, probably the CEO and founder of NK Solutions, and I am NK Solutions. Okay, so hey Jody, and welcome. So with all of that being said, um, since I do call myself a community organization's best friend, let me just be real with y'all. I started not to show up today. And that is me being completely honest. I started not to show up today. And I started not to show up probably for some of the same reasons that some of you are not showing up for your own community organization. And it was because I had very limited support. I had very limited people who were interested in the live masterclass today. And I guess the enemy was trying to tell me, like, you don't need to do that. Like you can record it at another time, whatever it was you wanted to say, and then people can watch it at their own leisure when they want to. There's no need for you to show up because you only had 3 people register for the live masterclass anyway. And so when I woke up this morning, just being completely transparent, your girl was not going to show up. And the Holy Spirit definitely dealt with me because I'm up, I'm doing what I do. I get up this morning, I say my prayer, and of course, the master class is on my mind. I'm like, no, Lord, I don't, this is only 3 people. Like, no. um, And then I'm getting ready to do my exercise because I've been trying to exercise every day, right, y'all? And, get my heart going, get my heart pumping. And I had a WhatsApp message on my phone from a very, very dear friend who prayed for me today for this live masterclass. I was like, what? I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even going to do it, girl. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. I'm thinking in my head, like, no, I'm really not going to do it. And after that prayer and what she spoke over me, it reminded me why I even love to be here, why I even consider it an honor for me to step in front of you, however I step in front of you, whether it is in front of my YouTube channel, whether it's during a live, whether it is in an online course, or we're working one on one together, or you catch me on Instagram. Whenever God sets me in front of this camera or whatever platform He sets me in front of, I'm being a vessel. And I'm being a vessel to encourage you. And that is exactly what this live masterclass is about. Some of you are allowing people not supporting you, time, money, the fact that you don't know the next steps and where to go, or maybe you just feel completely overwhelmed, or you don't know how to grow your community, you have no idea about funding, marketing, strategic plans, you don't know nothing, and you're really getting overwhelmed with it, and you're just starting to think that maybe God has not called you to create your community organization. I want to tell you that that is a lie from the enemy, and we don't accept those things. We don't. We don't accept those things around here, and I had to tell myself that this morning because I didn't want to show up, and I didn't want to show up because of limited support. But the actuality is, whether you're Jody, who is watching me right now, there is something that God has for Jody to hear at this moment. And there is something that God has for you to hear at this moment that I need to share with you, even if you're watching in the replay or if you come into the live a little bit later. And I'm trying to do my part to show up for you because I absolutely love what I do. I love helping people with their community organizations, whether it is a nonprofit. That's why I don't just strictly say I'm here to help nonprofits. I'm here to help nonprofits because I help all community organizations. I help you if you have a nonprofit, if you haven't started one. I help you if you're doing an online ministry or a support group for moms right there in your neighborhood who are trying to get through breastfeeding struggles. I help you if you want to start a social action organization and you want to create change right in your community. Maybe you're just tired of people throwing trash in your neighborhood and making your neighborhood look a hot, raggedy mess, and you want to form a neighborhood block club. I can help you do that. Maybe you want to do a support group at your local church where you are supporting others in your community with whatever it may be. I love all aspects of that. And the reason why helping organizations is so dear to me is it's not just because I like to help people, right? For years and years and years, I thought the only way I could help people was by being a doctor or by being a nurse. But God showed me throughout my entire life and throughout my experiences and the things that I have done for other people with organizations that I can help them in so many ways. And actually, me helping you move forward in your community organization and whatever it might be is helping the other person on the other side who is receiving whatever service, whatever resource, whatever it is that you have to give. And that is truly changing their life and producing purpose. And I know that firsthand. And I know that firsthand because community organizations have shaped my entire life. From the moment that I was born, I was in what you would call it was a foster home, but it wasn't a state foster home. It was a nonprofit organization that helped families find babies that needed to be adopted. And they didn't want them to go into the state system, so they created this community organization, which was a nonprofit. It was a Christian base, and they took the moms, placed them in a place that was safe, made sure that they had good care, and made sure that they were taken care of mentally, physically, emotionally. Because you have to remember, carrying a child for 9 months and then deciding to give that baby up for adoption has to be quite hard. So they supported that mom throughout that entire time, and they supported that mom after she gave her baby up for adoption and placed the baby with this organization. And I happen to be one of those babies that was with this amazing organization that found me a home. Um, and I didn't have to wait until I was, years old. I was adopted very, very young. I think about 3 months. So my entire life has been shaped by community organizations. When she got a divorce from my father and left him, it was community organizations that supported us and that helped my mom along the way. When my mom suffered from mental health disorder and substance abuse disorder, and I was the only child, and I had no idea of knowing what to do or how to handle these situations. It was people like yourself that gave me a helping hand, that helped me, that carried me through and carried my mother through, you know? And even as I got older and I had a child of my own at 19, whew, Lord, Don't know what you're doing. And didn't know what to do. It was community organizations that picked me up. 8 years later, when I had another baby, and even though I was married and called myself in a career, I suffered from postpartum depression, and that turned into a deep depression. And I really, really went through an extreme rough time with self limiting beliefs and doubting myself and low self esteem, alcohol issues, and I was going through it. But if it was not for God sending me people like yourself who wanted to help somebody like me through a community organization, I wouldn't be standing here today. And so these are the many reasons why I know and believe that you starting your community organization is a must. Your community needs you. They do. They need every aspect that you want to give them. They need every resource you want to give them. They need your story. They need your experience. It doesn't matter if Joe Blow down the street is doing the same thing. God gave you that experience. He gave you that knowledge. He gave you that gift. And He gave it to you because He wants you to give it to somebody else the way He gave it to you. Because that's the only way it's going to change their life and produce purpose. There were many organizations out there adopting kids, but there were not many organizations that were adopting kids, taking care of the kid, the adoptive family, and the birth parent. Weren't many organizations doing that. There weren't many organizations that were showing children that grew up in poverty like myself that they can go to college and that the world is a world, and it's you don't have to stay right there in your little hood. There are things out here to experience and to enjoy. You can enjoy math, you can enjoy science, even though you're a young lady or you are struggling in those areas. There were organizations, and there are organizations out here just like yours, and that have a heart to help people that need to be out here. And I say all that to say most of you are here or watching the replay because you want to know that one question that I asked myself that allowed me to move forward with my community organizations and move forward with me helping other people with their organization. And literally, it was, what is the person that I want to help not getting if I continue to sit here and not move forward? What is that person not receiving from your community organization if you continue to stay stagnant, if you continue to overthink, if you continue to not seek help, if you continue to think time and money and that you can't do it, if you continue to let your own self-limiting beliefs keep you from moving into your community organization, then that is lessening the change, the purpose, the miracle that somebody else is going to receive with being a part of your community organization. And because I know you want to create a community organization, I know that you're not selfish. I know that you're not. I'm not a selfish person. So that's why I had to show up here today, regardless of the lack of how many people may be in the room. There is something that I'm going to say now that is going to be a benefit for somebody in the future or for now or for whatever that they need that encouragement so that they can keep going. So I'm asking you, are you literally that selfish to where you're going to allow those things to continue to hold you back from starting or keeping your community organization? Sometimes people start an organization, and starting literally is just the beginning. To maintain it and to continue it and for it to be a success, for it continue to help the people in the community that you really want to serve, for it to be a serious impact, to change their life and produce purpose, it takes work. And you have to know those tools in order for you to continue and to maintain and sustain your organization successfully. Anybody can start a community organization, but not everybody can continue to sustain it and to sustain it successfully. And that is my goal. And that is what I want to help you do. So please don't allow any of the things that I call a cycle to keep you from moving in your community organization. No matter what part you're in your community organization, there are some things that I like to use to try and help me stay on track. Okay. And I want to share them with you today. So I hope you can see my screen. Okay. So once again, welcome to the Let's Go Masterclass. I know I had a little bit of rambling in the beginning, but I appreciate you all just sticking it out with me. So a lot of you, like I said, want to either start a community organization or you're trying to sustain your community organization no matter what it is. And like I said, community organization can be a nonprofit, a support group, a ministry, a social change, action organization. No matter what it is, it's important, and it's important to your community. Today, I want to talk about what keeps people from starting their organization, and then what I use at no matter what part, whether you're starting or whether you're already have an organization, to kind of help me keep going. And I'm hoping that it will help you as well. So we talked a little bit about these things that can discourage us, right? Money. People always talk about money and how they don't have the funding, how they don't have enough support financially to keep going with the resources that they want to provide. They also talk about not having enough support, like me, right? Today I was talking to you about how, I only had 3 people sign up and probably nobody's going to come, but it don't matter. I'm still showing up today because it is important for not me, but for you. Time. A lot of people find time because they have a family. They've got a lot of things to do. They're working. They have a lot of obligations and responsibilities to be a factor. They don't have a plan. They don't have everything together, so they're unsure of their next steps. Or you may think that your vision just seems too big and it's impossible, and ain't nobody even trying to hear that. And even let's say you don't think your vision's too big. Maybe you've shared it with somebody else and they like, yeah, that don't make no sense. Nope. I don't think you should do that. That's not going to work. And that can discourage you. Well, I'm here to tell you that none of that matters. None of those barriers matter. They just don't. They don't matter at all. And the reason why none of those barriers matter is because you have a purpose. You have a calling. You have something that somebody needs on the other side. And every step that you take to work towards you starting or sustaining your community organization, God is going to give you the tools. He's going to give you the people. And He's going to give you whatever it is that you need so that you can keep going. But you have got to keep Him in the forefront. You have got to be talking to Him. He should be your number one board member if you got a nonprofit. He should be your number one right-hand man, support system in whatever organization that you have, because He is going to guide you. He's going to give you that. And the only way that He's going to give you that guidance is if you continue to pray to Him and you continue to be in His word so that He can give you the direction that you need. Because let me tell you something. Starting and sustaining a successful community organization is not easy. It's not. I have been a part of three, four organizations. Three of them were already started, and one I developed from the ground up, okay, at the local health department. And let me tell you, whether I started it from the ground up or whether it was already in play when I joined the organization, it was not easy. It wasn't. But I'm telling you, if we did not remain faithful in God and to seek the right steps and help, we would not have been able to sustain successfully. And I'm telling you, each and every one of those organizations, even though I am not there, they are still sustaining successfully. They are still known all over the city of Detroit. And they are doing amazing things for the people that they serve. And you can do the same thing. The way that you can do it is what I like to call my 1 day method. And it's not necessarily starting and sustaining in 1 day, but it is taking 1 day to iron out your objective, the need that the community has for your organization, and an effective resource for them. And I really, 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 really do mean effective because sometimes we can start putting resources out thinking like, oh yeah, this is what the community wants. I know this about to be fire, this about to be hot, and you get crickets. And you get crickets because it wasn't necessarily what they wanted. Sometimes, and I've said this before, sometimes we have to offer what our community wants before they can really see what they need. Okay? We have to give something so that we can get something. Okay? And so that is what this formula allows you to do. So the objective is something that you're aiming for, right? It's something that it's a goal that you have that you're trying to meet with your community organization. Okay. It is usually stem from your why. It's stem from why you wanted to start your community organization in the first place. So that's what I want you to start with. Whether you've already started your community organization or whether you are sustaining your community organization, I want you to think about your why. Why did you decide to start your community organization? That is very important because that is what's going to keep you going. This morning, I thought about my why. And that's why I'm showing up here today, even though there is nobody here. Okay. Um, so, yes, think about your why. The next thing is what is the goal you wish to accomplish with your community organization? That is very, very important. Okay. I want you to think about those two things. So take a moment, think about your why, and take a moment to think about the goal you wish to accomplish through your community organization. The next thing is the need. And the need is the problem that you are going to be solving within your community organization. Okay. You have probably noticed some situations or some things that you want to tackle in your community, and you probably figure that you have a great resource that you want to provide for them. You have to be aware of the community that you want to serve. You can't just go into the community and try to offer these services if you're not aware of what they want. Because if you're not aware of what they want, they may not be ready for the services that you have to offer. And I'm being real serious about this because, you know, an example is maybe you live in a community where you see there is frequent domestic violence situations. Okay. Now, you may have a relationship with the community rec center, okay? And at the community rec center, you want to host some support groups for women who are experiencing this. Women who are experiencing this that are in your community probably are not going to come to a support group that says support group for domestic violence victims. Well, as soon as they walk into that room at the recreation center, everybody's going to know that they're there because they're dealing with domestic violence. That's not going to be good because the community where you live, it might be small, it may be tight knit. It's a community right there at the community rec center, and y'all talking about this. Everybody gonna be like, "Hey, so and so, you know your girl was at the domestic violence so and so and so, and what y'all doing and blah blah blah." That could make things worse. So when I say that you want to know what the community wants so that you can start feeding them what they need, you may want to know what the community wants so that you can offer that. But then when you offer that service, maybe you'll have something that has some pamphlets of a bunch of other community resources along with your resource about the domestic violence group that you're starting. And they are welcome to, while they're enjoying what they wanted, to read and see, oh wow, they have a support group. And they have a support group at this time. And when you house that support group, there's no sign, there's nothing, it's quiet. Just people know where to come if they need some support dealing with relationship issues. Or somebody may, I remember I went to a domestic violence support group and they tailored it love languages. And yes, we learned about love languages, but it opened the floor to talk about what's not a love language, if you know what I mean. So, this is how you see a problem in your community. You offer what the community may want, but you're still giving them what they need. Okay? So, O.N.E stands for the objective, which I want you to think about your why. I want you to think about your goal. The N stands for the need. I want you to think about what your community wants and how you're going to offer their need to them with this methodology. And last but not least is the effective resource. With the example that I used before, our effective resource was the support group, right? That was our effective resource. And we kind of camouflaged that effective resource by saying it is a love language group where we're going to talk about different love languages, right? There are many different ways that you can provide an effective resource. So you can do it through education, and that education can be done on YouTube, a podcast, through Zoom. You can even do it on Instagram, TikTok. There are so many different ways that you can provide that kind of education for your community through your community organization. You can provide services. Maybe you're doing coaching or mentoring. Maybe you provide monetary help. So let's say you have a grant, or so to speak, or you've had donors give a lot of money, and your focus is on making sure people have clean water, okay? And you buy all of these filters for the clean water. You can provide those filters to those people. Another way is through like expense help. So say somebody lights are cut off or their gas is cut off. You have funds to be able to help with that. So that's a monetary way of assisting. Or maybe your organization or foundation provides scholarships for first time college students, or, people who struggle with making being able to afford college tuition, so maybe you give away scholarships. So monetary is another way of providing effective resource. We can do a support group, like I said. So we talked about the domestic violence support group, but we necessarily didn't call it that. Or I think earlier I talked about like a breastfeeding group for moms, or you can do a support group on so many different things. I know a young lady right now who has support groups for women who are Christian and single, and just navigating that whole experience and that whole situation. So you can have a support group on anything. You could provide advocacy through your community organization, and that usually happens with like social change um, act, community organizations. Maybe your organization helps parents with that have children with special needs, and you go into the school with the parent to advocate for that child to have certain services in school, or certain accommodations in school or on the bus or during lunch or during testing. Those are ways that you can provide effective resources. And last but not least is resources. You could be providing ebooks, devotionals, journals, workbooks. For you, Jody, you could be providing t-shirts, right, that are supportive and uplifting, that people can look at to remind them of their journey and remind them that they're not alone on their walk with God, right? So I just put some of these up here so that you can see some of the ways that you can provide effective resources for your community. And I think that that is very, very important. If you do not, you can have all the resources in the world, but if the community don't want it, if they're not effective, then you're probably not meeting out that goal that you wish to see within your community organization. You're not meeting the objective. And that's what we talked about in the very first part of the formula, or the framework, right, of the 1 day method. So you want to make sure that you have your objective, which is the O in one, and that is your why you started your organization, and what is your goal. The N stands for the need. You want to think about what the community wants and how you're going to offer what they need if what they want isn't what you've given, but how can you give it to them? And then you want to make sure you give it in an effective resource that is going to help the community. Your community needs you. And I know I say this each and every time, but they really, really do. They need whatever it is you have to offer and how you want to deliver it. Okay? They need that. What you provide is going to change lives, and it is going to produce purpose. And like I said, I am a spitting image of a product of community organizations. So many. Some were nonprofit, some were ministries, some were support groups, some were just little organizations just for the community that somebody started. But no matter what it is and how you provide, how you decide to provide that, your community needs you. I am here to help you if you want my help. I will help you iron out your objective. I'll help you iron out your need, and making sure that you are providing the most effective resource for your community. And not only that, I will make sure that you have the tools that you need so that you can continue to sustain your community organization. That is very, very, very important. Okay. Like I said, it's one thing to start a community organization, but it is another thing to sustain it. And you not only want to sustain it so that it stays open, but you want to sustain it so that it is making the social impact that you desire for it to make in your community. Now, There are many different ways that I can help you with that, and I want to share some of those ways with you today. So, how can I help you? The first way is through our community organization's basic startup package. With the community organization's basic startup package, we just touch basically the basics, okay? We get your objective together, we get your need together, and we also get your effective resource. With that, I will also sit down with you and I will do your strategic plan so that you have a direction, so that you know where your community organization is going to go. Number two, the VIP Intensive Community Organization Foundations of Success is more intensive. And this is really for my people who want to start a community organization. Yes, you have the basics, you have your plan, but you also want to know how to do community organization programming. You want to create a program within your community organization. You want to know funding and marketing and budgeting plans. I help with that. You want to know how to build your community. How can you get people interested in your community organization? I help with that. Um, from there, I also will guide you step by step. If you haven't started your nonprofit, or say you have, but you're not 501c3 certified, I guide you step by step through that process. I have seen a lot of free resources out here that show you or that give you information about your articles of incorporation. I also have seen people, they give you information about your conflict of interest, and they also give you information about your bylaws, but they do not walk you through each step. They don't tell you how to do it. And because they don't tell you how to do it and walk you through it and help you through each and every bit, when it comes to you filling out your Form 1023, you don't know what to do. I help you with that. So that VIP intensive is good to get help with all aspects, all foundations that you need with your community organization, so that you not only start, but you're going to sustain, and you're going to sustain successfully. I am going to give you all of those tools, and you are going to walk with me through all of that. The next aspect that I can help you with is through our group coaching program for community organizations. And that doesn't matter if you have a nonprofit, if it's an online ministry. It is basically getting the VIP intensive, but instead of it being VIP, just me and you're in a group setting with that, okay? So, with that being said, um, you can get help in many different ways. Okay. So you can get help with the basic package, which gets you started and gets that strategic plan. You can get help with every aspect, with not only getting started, but let's say you're started and you need to know the success of how to have a successful organization, to sustain it and to have those foundations. I can help you with that one-on-one, or you can be a part of the group coaching program. Last but not least is my 1 day method services. And that's just basically, if, say, you just need help with a strategic plan, I can help you with that. Say you just need help with community programming, I can help you with that. Say you just need help with funding assistance or budgeting or marketing, I can help you with that. I can help you with a lot of things within your community organization, so that not only you can get started, but you're sustaining it. All right. And there are different ways that we can do this. So if you want to know more about how you can learn more about these services and which ones are best for you, I encourage you to just book a free consultation with me. It's free. Okay. I am going to provide the link for everyone in the description box of this video. And if you're interested in booking a consultation with me, it's literally just 30 minutes of your time. You tell me what it is that you want to do. I will tell you what best fits you, and then we can go from there. It is completely free. You can pick my brain, you can ask me questions within that time, and I am here to help you and to guide you throughout that experience. If you want to know where else you can find me, you can find me on Instagram at nk.solutions. And you can also go to my website, nksolutions.com, where you can find out more about the services that I offer and what I can bring to you to help you along this journey. So, really, with that being said, that really does conclude the Let's Go Masterclass. I really just wanted you all to remain encouraged about starting and sustaining your community organizations. There are so many things that we go through in this, what I call a cycle. There are so many feelings, there are so many experiences that we have. And I just don't want you to allow any of those experiences, sorry, any of those experiences to stop you from wanting to start your community organization or wanting you to sustain it. Your community needs you. They need you so bad, and they need what you have to offer. That seed that was planted in your heart, that vision that you have to have your community organization is not just a vision, a dream. It is your purpose. It is what you are destined to do. And people need you. And God has sent people here to help you. You know, you can ask me for help. I am here to help you. I would love to help you. But yes, are there other people out here that you can seek help from? They are. There are other people. I just want you to know that there are tools around you that you can grab and use to guide you and to help you along this journey. You are not alone, and your vision, your goal, your aspiration that you have for your community organization is needed. So I am so honored to have shown up today, even though I really didn't want to, and even though I was a little uh, uh, discouraged. I'm glad that I did show up, and I'm glad that you all showed up today. Whether you are here during my live, thank you, Jody. I appreciate it so much. Or whether you are catching the replay, I appreciate you, and I hope. I truly hope and pray that I have said something to you today that will encourage you to continue on with your journey with your community organization. Before we close out, I just want to say a small prayer for you while you walk on this journey. So hold on just one moment. Sorry about that. So before we conclude, I just want to say a small prayer for you on your journey. Father God, I come before you today on the behalf of my sisters that are here during this live or catching the replay, just asking you to be with them and to give them the strength and the courage to move forward with their community organizations and move forward with the vision that you planted in their heart. You know why you planted that seed in their heart. You know why that vision and what they have keeps tagging at them, keeps nudging at them, keeps wanting them to move forward. You know why you placed that in their heart, and you know who is going to benefit from them moving forward in their purpose in creating and sustaining their community organization. Lord, I ask that you be with them. I ask that you give them discernment on this journey and that you surround them with people that are going to encourage them, that are going to be with them, that are going to support them, that are going to hold them accountable, and that are going to march this journey out with them each step of the way. I ask that you just cover them, Lord. Cover their dreams, cover their organization, and cover the people that are coming to them. I pray that the people that are coming to them get exactly what you desired for them to have, and that it changes their lives and produces purpose inside of them. I appreciate you for this opportunity that you have given me before your daughters to be able to encourage them and to send them on their way with their community organizations. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity, and I thank you for them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you guys soon in my next video or in my next masterclass because I'm going to keep going. Doesn't matter who shows up and who does not. I am just glad to be able to have this opportunity. You all have a great and blessed day, and I will see you soon. Peace. Bye-bye.